Good morning everyone, I'm Bren and welcome to this week's video. Today we'll go on a bit of a garden wander and I'll show you what I've been up to over the last 7 days. I'll be sharing a lot of gardening tips and tricks along the way, so why don't you go and grab yourself a cuppa, sit back, relax for a few minutes and let me show you around. Last week I mentioned that I was going to put down a layer of cardboard and sugarcane mulch in this area. I actually got around to doing that job. If you're going to do this on a pathway, particularly one that's on a bit of a slope, it can be a little bit slippery for about the first week until the cardboard and this sugarcane mulch kind of settled in place. To speed up this process, what you can do as you're laying down each of these layers is to give both of them a really good soaking with a hose. I just wanted to point that little hazard out because I don't want any of you guys to injure yourselves if you copy what I'm doing. There's Autumn. Autumn! Autumn! I think she's cleaning her feathers. How flexible are chickens? See how much she can bend her neck back. It's kind of cool. Something's got her attention now. What are you looking at now, Missy? What's going on? You might have noticed I have a stack of the fan covers here, which I have ready to go because I can't believe I haven't even done this yet, but these are going to be put up on this archway. So that's my goal for this week. I'm going to at least have all of these popped up along here so I can show you them next Friday. This mystery squash or pumpkin, which self-seeded in this spot and I'll let go, is starting to really take off. You can see here it's weaving in amongst all of these dahlias that are still yet to bloom. But the thing is, I don't mind this happening, and let me explain why. This vining plant is acting like a living mulch, a ground cover under these dahlia plants, and like other mulches, what it's doing is it's helping to suppress any weeds, and this canopy of foliage is helping to regulate the soil temperature below, as well as retaining the moisture in the soil. Here's this section from a different angle. Hey girls, have you been eating all the grass for me? You can see I still need to come in here now and cut back all the grass. I pretty much just laid the cardboard down to flatten it. You can see it all here underneath this piece. So I will come in now, probably on the weekend if I get a chance, with my snippers and just cut all of this back, because I really don't want all of this grass sending out more shoots into this garden bed. You know, when I first got chickens, I didn't realise that they like eating grass. At least my girls do. They like nipping off the tops of the blades. They seem to enjoy it. Go girls, you help me with the weeding, will you? I really need to clear out this spot. Oh my goodness, my poor bromeliads. You can barely see them anymore. It looks like Autumn is eating the little seeds that have formed on top as well. Oh, how cute is she? Look at her nibbling at it. Oh, that little face. It's adorable. The plumbago is flowering again. I love these light blue blooms. Actually, a while ago in this section, I gave all the plants, the shrubs here, a good trim back because they were really starting to encroach on this section where my kids play. So, have some grevilleas, and there's also a lovely native mint bush, and they've actually really benefited from the good decent prune. They seem to have bushed out a lot more. So let's head down this way. We are now passing the lemon tree. This is the dahlia patch. Why am I coming over here? I forgot for a sec. Oh yeah, to show you this. I laid down some more cardboard in this spot with some more sugarcane mulch, so it's looking a lot nicer. I could have put some more cardboard here on that grass patch, but I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll leave it the way it is and maybe put a little table and chairs there. I think it would be a nice spot to sit down and relax. It's that time of the week again where I give you a dahlia update and show you which varieties have opened in the last 7 days. We will start off with this one. It hasn't fully opened, but this dahlia is actually the most expensive tuber I purchased this year. And I believe that is because it is one of the most sought after varieties. It's called Cafe au Lait, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm so glad that this one survived the storm and isn't one of those 5 tubers that's sitting in my little broken down greenhouse with no sprouts on it. Next up is this one, which is a dinner plate dahlia called Tartan. It had almost opened last week, but not quite. It still actually has a little bit of a way to go, but you can see there it's beginning to open up and there are already 3 flowers on it. Oh, they are gorgeous, aren't they? Do you know what they kind of remind me of? When I was a little kid, I used to love vanilla ice cream with a raspberry swirl. I think it was called raspberry swirl. It really reminds me of that with the colours. I just grabbed this from our kitchen. So what you're looking at here is an average traditional size dinner plate. It is a little bit over 10 inches in diameter, and this would be the average size that one of those blooms would reach. Now, it can be anywhere between 8 and 12 inches, but this is just to give you a rough idea and to show you where, you know, the names come from. But if I hold this plate up beside this dinner plate dahlia called Tartan, which I just mentioned, it's not quite as large, it's nothing like it. And that may be just because maybe the soil isn't rich enough to have fed this plant to give it that giant bloom. But it is possible, and if you go and Google it, you'll see plenty of pictures with people holding these absolutely massive flowers. And interestingly enough, although mine don't quite get to that size, I do always notice that the first bloom is the largest and then any thereafter are slightly smaller. Just beside this dahlia patch is where I have those purple beans and a few different varieties of cucumber, and I'm trying to be really careful because I don't want to damage any of these plants. They are a bit of a jumble at the moment. I'm going to have to put up this trellis soon because these beans really need something to climb on. A mistake I've made in the past when growing beans is that I haven't read the seed packet correctly. For any of you new gardeners out there, just be aware that there are climbing beans which on average can reach about 2 meters in height. And then there are dwarf beans like these ones here which reach about 50 to 60 centimeters. They both have quite different growing habits, so it's important to kind of be aware of what you are popping in the ground, because I in the past have given up space where there's a lovely trellis for a climbing crop and I've accidentally sown dwarf beans, and I've really missed that opportunity to use that vertical growing space. I want to show you a nice view of the garden that I must have been just this week I discovered. You know, when you're around something so often you don't notice certain things. Well, I discovered when I was walking down this section along here that it has a really nice panorama view, is that correct in saying that, of the, well, not the entire back garden, but quite a big part of it. And I just wanted to show you it to give you an idea of where everything is laid out, because I know I do have lots of different areas and different garden spaces. So you can see there's our house. This now we are looking at the fan garden with the new raised beds, and I'm standing where the chicken coop area is. I'm so pleased with the growth in these new raised garden beds. Some of the growth has been a bit more vigorous than I expected. Now, I have grown zucchinis before, but this one here, which is an all green bush zucchini, you can see there's a couple there, they're almost ready to pick. Look how much it has taken over this bed. I don't know, I didn't read the label, but I didn't imagine it was going to take up this much space. It's huge. And I actually have on either side of this plant, I have down there, which is it's managing to find, you know, its own way, but this is a tiger melon. And then on the other side I have a delicata squash down here, and that one is not doing as well because it's been smothered out by this. I might have to come in here now and cut off a bit of this foliage just to give it a bit more of breathing space and allowing some more light to hit it. In my opinion, there are the girls again, they follow me everywhere. In my opinion, if you remove a couple of leaves from a plant this size, it won't affect it. It will still be nice and healthy. However, if you have a smaller zucchini plant, be aware, just be careful not to remove too much of its foliage, because remember, the foliage is really vital for photosynthesis to occur, which enables your zucchini plant to grow healthy and happy, and it will produce an abundance of food. Look what I just spotted. I have some tomatoes down here. These are the Juan Flamme. This one. These are a lovely little orange coloured tomato. Oh, have I done it again? Oh, I have. What am I like? Maybe I should just look and not touch. I got this area planted out, which I said was one of my goals for this week. I'll do a quick whip around of what I popped in here. In the centre, I have about 30 zinnia plants, a whole mix of different varieties. This front row has a mixture of different globe amaranths, oranges, whites, purples. Down over here is a row of the lemon striker sunflowers. At the back, I popped in some glass gem corn, and it's only been a few days, but I've noticed that some of them are starting to germinate. Over here I have a couple of different varieties of beans. There's some butter beans, and these are bolotti beans. Here is a crookneck squash and a Armenian striped cucumber, which I transplanted from the back garden. All along this section here I sowed some seeds. There's a yellow scallop squash. I do have one of these in the back garden as well, but this is just in case the other one succumbs to powdery mildew, which can happen this time of year. Bit of germination going on in this spot. These are cucumbers little potato, a watermelon variety, creme de... Okay, I'll put that on the screen. I can't even read my own handwriting. Another watermelon, sweet Siberia. No sign of anything coming through yet. And finally, some Kajari melons. There we go, there's a sign of life. We've now come to the end of this week's garden update. I'm over here in the cut flower garden, just taking a look at all the beautiful, colourful zinnias. Thanks for watching once again this week, and welcome to those of you who are new to the channel. I will see you again next Friday.